Hello, Bastionnaires, as I'm calling you today. Bastionnaires. Is that weird? Does that sound strange? Okay, forget about it. Alright, so we're here to talk about the steel string archetype. It's, as you might have noticed, it started off pretty simple. Just a steel string, right? Very simple. And we wanted to use this idea of a steel string to connect to something else. So let's say a houseplant. So while it is true that even by thinking of this plant, we can connect to it mentally, and if you can connect mentally, if you can connect your intention to it, then you are connected, and it is as simple as that. It is all right here, right now, and we connect to anything we can conceive of. That is the ultimate truth of all of this, is that we're all connected, and thus that's how we can affect each other with energy. But the thing is, when you get up to more advanced levels and you want to try and do something beyond simple connection, you want to try and turn a few things in your favor and try a few artistic maneuvers or things that are unconventional, you'll need more of a toolkit. You'll need something a bit more tangible, something you can play with and mess with and shape and kind of push against and see what pops back. So for that purpose, that is why I created the steel string. It's a way to make these connections tangible. And if you're going to have more than one connection at once, which is where things start to get tricky, you have more than one thing you have to deal with at a time. You have to juggle things. Seeing what you're juggling is more helpful than just connecting, at least in my experience. And so I'm going to convey to you how this approach works from my experience and just give you some helpful things. I have no plan for what I'm about to record. Just so you know, I have a steel string. I'm going to play around with it and show you why I feel certain things about it. So let's just go right into it. So first off, let's see. So why the steel string? Why not anything else? Why choose this thing? Well, first off, it's very easy to visualize. It's just a shiny metallic line, really. You know that it's pretty stiff, it's pretty strong. It's easy to think about, easy for anyone to draw in their heads. That's one reason, of course. But the other reason is that I wanted to make these connections, this energetic interaction that is the threadics and all of this, I wanted to make it more tactile, more kinesthetic. I want you to feel it as if it were something physical in front of you. It is my experience that the more real you make it to yourself, the more usable it is to you, and thus the more impact and effect you can have on your surroundings or on other people or on yourself, is to make it as if it's right in front of you and as if you can grab it, shape it, feel its toughness, feel its texture. And by doing this, you don't have to mentally overthink all this stuff. You don't have to make sure, oh, am I thinking of it hard enough? Am I directing it right? Am I sure that energy's even like feeling this? Is this right? Is this right? Is my posture right? Am I breathing right? Instead of all that, your body kind of automates it. It's more of a muscle memory sort of thing. So over time, you get to know what this feels like, right? And you may want to grab some steel wire eventually, and I actually do recommend it, and just learn what it feels like to flex against it and press it. And then eventually you can just close your eyes and you know exactly what's happening. You can kind of feel the stress and you understand its strength. So by doing this, you can then mentally close your eyes and just feel these steel wires or these energy constructs that you're visualizing as steel wires. Let me clarify that. You can feel them doing their work rather than having to see and micromanage every single one. So that's another reason why I chose the steel string as the first archetype to teach you guys about energy interactions. It's dependable, it's trustworthy, you can kind of tell what it's doing without having to see it, and it's actually surprisingly common. Anyone can get access to steel string. And I kind of like that accessibility. You don't have to think of this, golden cord of light that has like all these blessings on it or whatever. It's a steel string. That's it. Anyone can think about that. You don't have to feel like you need special access or some sort of designer level key card or whatever to reach that technique. You're just thinking of a steel string. And of course, this is the first part of the technique, which is imagining your connection to this plant. You have energy, the plant has energy, you want to make a connection there so that energy can flow between both of you. You're just seeing that as a little cord, a little wire connecting you two. You don't have to think of the wires being super straight or super curvy or having a certain shape or being all neat. Just know that there is a wire there and it's doing its job. And you can close your eyes and look away and it's still going to be there because steel wire is very flexible. It's very strong. Even tiny wire like this. This is steel wire here. And this stuff is quite strong. It doesn't matter how hard you tug at it. You're going to have to really mess with it to try and break this thing. It can probably cut through you before you can cut through it. And look at that. Even if you got a little knot in the way, and even if some real misfortune comes along and tries to really mess with the connection, it still holds strong. I can even pull that straight, and it's still going to hold. It's a little misshapen, but the other thing about steel is that you can always bend it back into place. You can always fix it or reshape it or have it be dynamic to a situation. So it's strong, it's dependable, it's common, and it's easy to visualize. So there's some more reasons. Steel string. So now the next part is I'm going to discuss the second level of the steel string archetype, which I call steel string world, which, as I joked, it does kind of sound like an amusement park. And honestly, you should start to see all of life this way, because we are living in this energetic jungle. Everywhere you go, there's energy in some shape or in some sort of process, and it's doing its own thing. And as you are around it, it also involves your energy. And if you want to be aware of it and actually do something with it or do something about it, you're going to have to learn how to feel it and how to interact with it. So the basis of level 2, the basis of steel string world, is that it's not just you and the connections that you choose. It's not just you and a plant or some object near that you chose to connect with. You are connecting to everything around you. I'm connected to that rug on the wall back there, to that lamp, to that TV, to that dresser, to whatever's on my left. I don't even know. I'm too focused on you guys. It's already there. All possible things are already connected to you. It's the human intention. It's our ability to shine our focus on it, to shine our presence on it, that makes those steel wires strong. It makes them stand out. It makes them the most vibrant in the room, and it thus makes it have precedence. So, but I won't get to that just yet. We'll just focus on this for now. So here's the real tricky part, and this is the main reason why I wanted to record this video. It's because I want to make this seem natural to you, and I want you to become comfortable with this idea that it's all happening all around you, and this can help make you stronger, because once you can interact with it and feel it happening around you, you can do something back. You can shape it, okay? So first off, let's focus on the parts of that article that I wrote that kind of started to get into how to make it work, which was trust and faith and ambient programming, okay? So first off, trust. Trust that these steel wires are there. And of course you might be saying, Joe, there are, you know there's no actual wires there. There's no sort of wire format, even invisible, that really exists. And of course, that is the truth. This is a visualization that you are using to interpret all these energy interactions and connections around you, because they're there whether you think about them or not. If you don't think about them, if you don't shine intention on them, they don't have to take a form. So it's just kind of this shapeless pooling, this kind of little ecosystem, this jungle that just kind of does its own thing. But if you give it order, if you give it shape, if you see all those webs and interconnections as steel strings instead, they're connecting to each other and they connect to you, and there's this intermeshing going on, then now it's something you can see. It's something you can visualize. And now we're going to have a little faith. And so we can trust that, what we are doing is just a visualization. It's self-hypnosis, essentially. And we're choosing to see that this stuff is out there, and we're trusting that our subconscious, that our brain can handle this visualization. But that's not the only part. You need some faith as well. So you have to have faith that these wires aren't just there, that they're kind of behaving like wires. It's not just an idea. It's a process that's happening. And so you have to have faith that these wires are out there. And say you're walking past a bunch of trees or whatever, and they have all their interconnections, all these steel wires. And as you walk past, your head kind of bumps against those fields, you feel that kind of torsion, that kind of bend of these steel wires, of these connections, as you walk past these plants, as you walk past these people, as you walk past these rivers and streams. There's these energy fields that are connecting to each other, they're interacting with each other. And as you walk past them, you can feel them. But instead of seeing it as a formless, invisible sort of heavy gas of nothingness, you're imagining it as a meshing, as a collection of wires, and they have like a body to them. They have a torsion, a bend, a springiness to them, and you can press against that springiness. Okay, and that's how you can feel these fields. You're shaping it with your own field. Because, how am I going to do this? All right, here's some aluminum wire. Or wait, what's this? I don't know. I think this is also steel wire. So you have your own energy field, and it presses against these other fields, and they press, and they shape, and they bend against each other. So for you to feel this stuff easier, and as I mentioned at the end of the article, you got to have your own energy, and that's where ether comes in. Even a little tiny piece, if you relax with it, if you focus and breathe and do your best to circulate and grow that energy, you will have a stronger energy field. You will have a bigger energy field. So when you walk past these other energy interactions, you can feel them with your energy. You don't have to strain or get really quiet or really, really clear your mind before you can feel anything. It just kind of happens because it's pressing against your field, which presses against your body because it's your field. It's just connected. I guess you can call it an aura, but honestly, I don't really see auras, so it's not really a skill of mine. But in any case, yes. So we have to trust that it's there, and we have to have faith that even though it's there, it's kind of acting like your visualization. Even if you're not really looking at it, you just have to trust and have faith that you can interact, you can choose this visualization, and you can agree, this is how I see it. This is how I choose to visualize and manifest and see this interaction, to see these energies. And B, you have faith that it's acting the way that it should. You're feeling these energies, you can imagine it reacting as metal. You're kind of making it more real to yourself when you're having faith that it has an effect on your surroundings. And of course, C, the ambient programming. So how do you have this happen? How do you feel this naturally without having to overthink it? And that is where this practice comes in. You have to actually get some wire and play around with it, okay? Maybe get a spring of some kind and feel a spring kind of pressing against you. So feel it pressing against your head and feel that bounciness, and against your upper body too, and against your chest, and feel what that pressure of steel wire feels like. And as you do that, and that muscle memory builds, and those brain synapses connect because you're doing all this wire work, and it's like, why is all this wire stuff happening? I keep getting this wire stimulus, After enough of it, it starts to really become second nature. And then you walk past these fields, walk past these energies, and you're feeling this kind of ebb, this kind of pushiness. And you're like, oh, these are the steel strings. This is the coils and the spirals. It's bouncing against it. And soon you're going to learn that, you know what, I'm starting to get the hang of this stuff. If I want to make that a really dense field, I know what I have to do. I got to press my energy for it. Or you might learn that, you know what, I don't like how strong this energy feels like here. I know what to do to stretch it out. I know what that feels like. I'm going to intend that this stretches out. I'm going to push it away so that it can change for my benefit. And this is later level stuff. This is you actually using this visualization to have a real effect in your surroundings, much more tangibly and much more strongly than if you were just thinking of a basic straight-on connection without any sort of tangibility or flex or dynamicism. I don't know, being dynamic, whatever that process is called. This is how you do it. So feel it, make it real. And to make it as real as you can, get a real wire and practice. Get a real spring and press it around and really feel it on your body. Because at the higher end of skill, this can become a way for you to have perfect confidence in public. Okay, people can come up to you and give you this huge push of toxic energy, and they try and stare you down, or they try and ruin your day. But you can feel that push not as just hitting you smack in the face. It presses into your energy. And you're like, oh, this is a lot of energy at once. It's a good thing I practiced for this. And then you can learn to spring that back. And you can learn to use steel strings to your advantage in many ways. But for now, we have to learn how to feel it, and we have to learn how to understand it. Okay? So try and make this as real to you as possible. Make it so real that even when you don't have a spring, you remember what it feels like. Okay? And when your body knows that feeling, and when it gets used to that feeling, your energy can do that too. Because your energy is about your emotions, right? It's about your moods. It's about what you're feeling. And if you can feel it as real as possible, your energy can do the same thing. Your energy moves along with you, and it can shape and is colored by what you're going through. So start building a toolkit. And I chose this as your first tool for a reason. It's very easy for anyone to go out and learn what this feels like. And if you keep doing that, and if you keep taking use or making use of your ether and building your energy and breathing better and having better posture, your energy grows and grows and it becomes stronger and stronger, this positive field around you. So you can more easily feel these energies, and you can feel that pressing, and you can feel that bounce and that springiness. And that's where real power lies. Because once you can flex against reality, you can make some really beautiful stuff and really help a lot of people. So with that, we're done. I think that's really all you need to know about these two techniques of the steel string archetype. If there's any questions or any comments or anything you think I can do to improve this, besides a better microphone, I know, people have mentioned, let me know in the comments and I'll do it. I'm excited to do more videos for you guys. So with that, I'm going to get going. Thanks for stopping by, and seriously practice this stuff, because we got to start learning some techniques, and to do that, this energy has to be real to you. And to do that, you got to make it real to you, okay? Real stuff. So find a steel wire, find a spring anywhere, and practice it. Get that muscle memory. And with that, I am out of here. You guys have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you next time.